There's a common misconception about taxation that people who are wealthy do not pay their fair share of taxes. That's certainly true for some people, but not for others. What about the lower income people? Are they paying all of the taxes to the government? The answer is no. So who is? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to talk about a subject that's a little touchy for some. Let's begin with this article. OMB, top 20% pay 95% of taxes. Middle class, single digits. Can you believe that? The Office of the Management and Budget has produced this information, and I'll show you another piece of information in a moment. There's a lot of talk about this, that certain groups, the wealthy or the rich, they have to pay more in taxes. And so people consistently will lobby, they will beg, they will yell and scream to their government officials and say, tax the rich. And certainly, there are those who do not pay taxes. We know that. But I want to make a very clear distinction. You may have an individual that lives down the street from you. He drives a Ferrari. He's a lawyer. And he's got the nicest house on the street, renovated, always having big parties, living a good life. And many people would say, tax him more. Put more taxes on him because he makes more income. He's got more to waste. Me, I'm on a tight budget. I'm working 3 jobs. I can't afford to pay any more in taxes. He should pay more in taxes. And I don't think that's right. Because everybody's working and you pay taxes on that income. What we need to be doing, and there's 2 points I want to make. What we need to be doing is addressing the corporations like Google, like GE, like all of the others that I've covered over the years that pay next to 0% in tax. And yet they are multi-billion-dollar companies. The CEO is getting millions and millions and millions for a bonus at the end of the year, and they pay nothing in tax. Those are the corporations that need to be taxed. Wasn't it Hank Paulson, when he became the Treasury Secretary, gave himself a $200 million tax break? That's what I'm talking about. Not the guy down the street driving a Ferrari because he's a lawyer, because he went to school and fought his way through, or whatever he had to do. I don't know the personal story of everybody. But, he's making $200,000 a year. He's not the rich people. Sure, he's upper middle class. He's doing well. He's doing better than most people. But he's already paying 50% in taxes. Should he be paying 60%? A lot of people would say yes. I don't agree with that. In fact, I think taxes should be lower for everyone. And why? What would that do? Well, it would free up a lot of capital for people to spend as they see fit. See, we have a lot of safety nets out there. Whether it's Social Security, whether it's your 401ks, RRSPs, your supers and everything else, that it's somebody else managing your money for you, and don't worry, we'll take care of you type of deal. I'm not in favor of that. I'm really not. Because as it makes its way through the government structure, the money is squandered. Your tax money, most of it, almost all of it, is going to the situations that are happening, well, I can't say the word, but the situations that are happening in the Middle East, in North Africa, and in other places around the world. Dropping love from the drones, if you know what I'm getting at here. That's what goes on. Kinetic action, as Obama once called it. Not being spent on infrastructure. Look at the infrastructure that, in many cities. It's falling apart. And you can bring in more and more taxes every single year, and yet we encounter the same problems year after year. They're getting more money. Where is it going? It's being squandered. It's being used to, unfortunately, end the lives of many. That's what taxes do. If you bring taxes down, people may go out there, they may just go to a bar and spend it. They may go to the casino and spend it and not invest it, let's say. But that's up to them. Why would we put our money in the hands of someone else, government, through taxation, so they can go out there and build whatever it is they build, probably not even in your own country, when we can keep the money for ourselves and decide what to do with it? That's the way I see it. Let us decide. If we screw it up, hey, it's on us. But right now, the government is the one screwing it up. Look at what's happening with the pension funds. They're all being screwed over right now. Maybe if we gave them to the average individual, maybe they would have screwed it up. But at least it was on them. Connected in with that. Buried inside a Congressional Budget Office report this week, this is from a few years ago, by the way, they found this little nugget. When it comes to individual taxes, the top 40% of wage earners in America pay 106% of the taxes. The bottom 40% pay negative 9%. That's just ridiculous. And they say, how can somebody pay negative taxes? They basically go into refundable tax credits. They're talking about government transfers, Social Security, food stamps, and so on. That's how they factor that in. But essentially, the top 40%, all those, the lawyers and the doctors and all that, they are paying pretty much all of the taxes that go into the system. So you want to tax them more. We're not taxing the right people. They're already heavily taxed. You have to tax the corporations, if anything. If anything. But tax money isn't used on the things you are being told that it's used for. It never has been. Look around. Just look around. Look at the statistics, please. I know that there's a lot of people out there who will argue with me and probably already sent a few hateful comments. And that's okay. I mean, this is just my opinion anyway. I'm showing you the statistics, though, to back it up. They're already paying the most in the taxes. We can tax them more, sure, but it's not a really good idea. And the reason I say this is because that doctor, maybe he has 5 employees, let's say. Those 5 employees are working for a particular wage. Maybe they have a situation going on with Obamacare right now. That's obviously a problem, increasing their premiums. They have to pay part-time salaries instead of full-times and everything else. What I'm noticing here is that people will ultimately fire 1 person, 2 person, whatever it takes, if they can't afford it. It's not a charity. They need to make profit just like any other business. And yet Google and all the big boys, they don't have to pay taxes. That's the point. There's always a loophole for the major corporations. So when you say tax the rich, you're taxing the guy down the street. You're not talking about the Googles. You're not talking about the Berkshire Hathaways. It just doesn't work like that. And that's what I think people need to understand, that distinction, in order to really have a good argument for increasing taxation. The way I see it is, I worked, I earned the money. Why are you taking it from me? There's a difference. There are income taxes and property taxes, which I think should not be allowed. And then we have something like a consumption tax, where I go to the store and I buy whatever it might be. I buy an iPhone. That iPhone may have taxes on it. It may have provincial or state taxes, and it may have federal taxes. That's different, because then you're deciding to contribute in, you pay for things, you can have different taxes. I mean, look at the amount of taxes that we pay. We pay taxes on basically everything. You pay gasoline taxes, you pay energy taxes, you pay, there's a long list of all the different taxes we pay. The one that doesn't make sense to me, or two, that is really property taxes and income taxes. There's no reason for that. We already tax on every single thing that we do. It is extortion, it is theft. And I do believe that, and I stand by that principle. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. If you love taxation, then give me a thumbs down. If you found this video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can flip through these books at Amazon. Links are in the description below. Take care.